The past 15 years since the Wolf family left Moonlight Falls have treated them very well. Last season's heir, Ross, moved on from his desk job and began to pursue new prospects, like starting his own now successful fashion company. Ross's husband, Gator, worked up the job ladder and landed a spot on TV as a celebrity chef. Ivy grew up doted on and spoiled by both parents, spending each summer in the family's backyard of their summer home in France. How could I forget, speaking of which, France? The Wolves maintain dual citizenship as Ross does many of his business meetings and fashion conferences in Paris, so much so that Ross and Gator made an executive decision to purchase an entire home in Champlain, a small countryside right outside Paris. This summer in specific is an extremely pivotal point in our family's lives. Specifically, Ivy, who has a very important decision to make. Not what Ivy League, pun intended, school she's going to attend, but what French boy she's gonna French kiss in France. Will it be the smart, cool Remy that used to play in her backyard during those warm summer days in her childhood? Or will it be Henry, an amateur photographer and son of a famous local winemaker? Or perhaps her brand new friend here in France, Pascal? In this new 5-episode miniseries, we're going to be exploring Ivy in France. Hello everybody, and welcome to my brand new miniseries, Ivy in France. We are currently here sitting at the tea table with the family during their afternoon tea, and apparently Gator is making some conversation with his daughter and husband. Very cute. In this series, we are going to be primarily playing out Ivy's summer here in France before she ends up graduating high school. And before we start our brand new season's Let's Play, which will be the next generation. If you don't know who I am a cotton sock, and I have played, believe it or not, 7 generations of Ross's ancestry and Ivy's ancestry. Last season, we played in the supernatural town of Moonlight Falls with a then younger Ross. He has had a little bit of aging. It's been 15 years since the last generation of Supernatural. There's been quite a big time jump between then and now, obviously. As you could tell by the intro, he now has a better job. Well, when he gets back to the town, he will. Currently, he's on vacation, so it says he's unemployed. But he now owns his very own fashion business and very successful clothing line. His husband over here, Gator, is a celebrity chef who is often on TV, though in these recent years, he's started to upload to YouTube more and more often now that they don't live in a very populous city. Not that they did in the last season. They only lived in Moonlight Falls in the last season. But in this season, I have been hiding it as best as I possibly can. I have been dropping a little bit of teasers here and there. But guys, this season and in our actual season's play, which will be 45 episodes, which will come right after this mini series finishes, we are going to be playing in Riverview, albeit a very renovated Riverview, but a Riverview nonetheless. Ivy is very enthusiastic about the curtains. Apparently Ross is as well. Oh, nice, Gator. Yeah, just do that right over the afternoon tea. I really appreciate that. They all really like the draperies. Good choices, Ross. Good choices. What are they gonna do? Oh, they're gonna smooch each other. Isn't that just sweet? And they have a height slider on, so Gator is a little bit taller than the average sim, and Ross is a little bit shorter than the average sim because of my height slider. So Gator totally just kissed Ross's nose bridge. Love to see it. All right. Have fun, guys. They're just flirting with each other. Anyways, this is going to be our next generation's heir and our focus of this mini series, Ivy. Now, Ivy, She's pretty much Blair Waldorf. If you guys have ever seen Gossip Girl, she is very similar to Blair Waldorf. Maybe not as conniving, maybe not as classist, but she was very spoiled growing up. And obviously, she spent most of her summers here in Champs-les-Cym, which is a small French countryside right outside the big city of Paris. You can see the Eiffel Tower over there. But yeah, she grew up knowing the locals, you know, meeting her neighbors, obviously learning French. She's very, very fluent in French, probably more so than her parents, just because she obviously grew up here, and she grew up playing in the backyard of this beautiful French home. Should I show you guys the home now? So this is the home that Ivy grew up in, and Ross and Gator, once they found out that Ross's fashion brand was taking off, they purchased this home just so they would have a place to stay when Ross had to do his business meetings here in France, and also, you know, when they wanted to get away for the summer, because they primarily come here for the summer, and then Ross, obviously, when he has meetings in France, he stays in this home right here. But this is the beautiful house. I will also have this linked in the description box. I did a lot of renovations on this house, but if you would like to download what it looked like prior to my doing renovations, I will have it linked in the description box below. It is so beautiful, and it has a French name, so I was like, I gotta use this in their French home. So if we put the walls down here, let's walk into the main room, which is a area that Gator is very, very familiar with. This is the kitchen. Gator loves to cook. He's very talented at it. Obviously, being a celebrity TV chef, he would have to be pretty good at cooking, right? So we have a blue kitchen here with a nice little grandfather clock. I like to think that Ross and Gator brought this all the way from Moonlight Falls 15 years ago, and it now resides in their beautiful French home because they had a very similar one in their home in Moonlight Falls last season. But they have a beautiful view back here of the garden and the backyard. I love this backyard so much. It's really homey. This entire house is really homey and cozy. Definitely gives like summer sort of vibes, the place they'd stay during the summer. Next up, we have this little hallway here, and we have the nursery that actually baby Ivy used to stay in all those years ago. This is obviously her old room. She's no longer a baby, but because they only spend summers here and Ross comes here maybe once or twice a year, they haven't gotten around to hiring someone to come and renovate this room. So it stays as sort of an homage to the years that Ivy spent here as a child and a baby. If you come out here back to the hallway, we have the tea room, and everyone is now reading a little book. They're having their afternoon book, it appears. Gator's reading on his Tabcast. He's reading The Sandwich Horror. And what is Ivy reading? Ivy's reading Why Do Vampires Suck? I think she has some trauma from Moonlight Falls last season. Even though she was a baby in Moonlight Falls, I think she has some trauma with that town because clearly she does not have a fondness for vampires, and that town is littered with vampires and all sort of supernaturals. Speaking of which, just to take a little pause from the house tour, you might be asking yourself, why are Ross and Gator no longer supernaturals? Obviously, they were both the focus of my supernatural Let's Play, so why were the main two supernaturals, Ross was a fairy and Gator was a werewolf, why are they no longer supernaturals? And it's a really weird phenomenon. So once they moved out of Moonlight Falls, and oh my god, Ross is talking about babies, oh my god, they actually both lost their supernatural abilities, which is really weird because Gator has the last name Wolf, which is a very prolific werewolf family in Moonlight Falls. But the second he passed that threshold on the highway and went on towards Riverview, they both lost their supernatural abilities. It happened gradually, didn't all happen at once. Like Ross's wings didn't just fall off, but his fairy magic started to wane more and more each night. And you know, when he woke up in the morning, he started to have less magic abilities, and then you know, one day it was just completely gone. And the same what goes for Gator. So they both no longer have any supernatural abilities, and that goes for Ivy too, though she was a tiny baby when they moved out of Moonlight Falls, so her supernatural abilities weren't all that powerful to begin with. But the little that she did had also disapparated and disappeared, and she has a very stank look on her face. Oh, she's happy about something. I guess she really liked that book that she just read. She's gonna go interact with her dad now. She's gonna accuse him of being a diva. So we probably should get into Ivy's traits. She's ambitious, genius, loves the heat, and mean-spirited. She's very heavily Blair Waldorf inspired, I will say. She's a total brat and a diva, but she is very, very intelligent. She's got a good head on her shoulders, and you know, when she wants to be nice, she actually can. Look, she's scaring her dad now. She just really likes to play practical jokes on her parents. She also grew up an only child, which is kind of sad because Ross just got scared shitless. Oh, and Gator's now laughing. He really liked that. He really liked the fact that his husband just got scared by their daughter. Nice. So I mentioned it earlier, but Ross was talking about babies with his husband Gator, and the only reason they were actually able to biologically conceive, so meaning that Ross carried Ivy all those, you know, 15, 16 years ago when she was a little baby, was because he was a fairy. So he actually, if you go back in the last season, he actually was carrying Ivy as obviously a male sim, and that was due to, you know, the fairy magic. Okay, Ivy, stop being so mean to your dad. She's in a mood right now. She's having a moment. Oh, don't fight your dad. Go read something, Ivy. Just don't stop talking to him. He doesn't want to be yelled at by you anymore, believe me. Because Ross lost his fairy abilities, he's actually no longer able to conceive naturally. So if Ross and Gator ever want to have another child again, which, you know, Ross is family oriented, so he loves children and he loves to have a really big family, then he'll either have to adopt or he'll have to become a fairy again. And honestly, I don't think Ross minds not being a fairy, to be honest with you. I think that before it kind of made him stand out, and now that he's no longer a fairy, you know, can kind of go under the radar. But it was just really strange how the second that they passed the threshold out of Moonlight Falls, everyone lost their supernatural abilities. It's quite a weird phenomenon. It's just weird stuff surrounds that town, I guess. Anyways, back on to the house tour. We have a little bathroom back here with Ivy's old potty chair, you know, 16 years old. Kind of gross that they kept it all these years. And then over here we have a little storage cabinet, just if they need to store anything in there. We got a little doggy leash. They did also have 2 dogs, but obviously dogs do not live forever, and it has been 15, 16 years since the last season. So unfortunately, both Daisy and Scout have passed away. Ross, and especially Gator, because he had such a connection with dogs in specific, they really felt it. It was a sad time for sure. Anyways, going on upstairs, we have a sort of like study desk area. This is a really cute little alcove here. We got some books. We obviously got a nice Apple computer. Look at that. Ooh, it's fancy. I actually haven't used this before, so it's really nice to see this. And we have a lamp, which clearly I did not do a very good job at hiding the one tile placement object that I use. I think if I go in buy mode and then go out of buy mode, hopefully it'll like fix it, maybe. I don't know. One more slot, it's called. This allows you to like place objects anywhere you want in the house. Yeah, I didn't do a very good job at hiding that, did I? Oh, no, it worked. Okay, now it looks like it's on the shelf. Very nice. Okay, perfect. I'm glad that object actually worked. So here is the office alcove area. Very cute. Over here we have Ross and Gator's luxurious room. This is actually a really beautiful area. I love it so much. It's really nice. It's just a really nice, like, quaint summer home. Out here we have Ivy's balcony, so that means that this is gonna be Ivy's bedroom. It's very chic, very clean, and of course she had to get the room with the balcony, and obviously because her parents love her and they dote on her, they gave it to her. No contest, no argument. We have a little bathroom over here, a very skinny bathroom, albeit. And then if we go up, we have 2 attic rooms. So if we ever have company or potentially a Frenchman sleeping over, I'm talking about you, Ivy, then we have some space for them to stay. And we have another little alcove area with a desk in it. I love the ceilings in this area. I don't know how the creator did these sort of ceilings. If anyone knows, I would really like to know. Like they're slanted ceilings. I literally don't know how to do those in the Sims 3, but they look really cool. And it looks a little weird when you are in dollhouse view, but if you actually go into like tab mode, and yeah, it's a little laggy because it's like loading everything. It looks really quaint and it looks like an actual attic. I like it a lot. This is a really beautiful photo actually. Damn, Sims 3, I see you. Okay, a little interior design moment. So there are the 2 bedrooms, and we have a empty bathroom up here because nobody ever stays up here, so I guess Ross and Gator never just thought to put appliances in it. I don't know. I guess they must use this bathroom for storage or something. And then last but not least, yes, this house is still going on, guys. There is a little room with a television over here. I imagine, you know, when Ivy was a kid, she probably came up here to hide from her parents, you know, watch this old-timey television, kept to herself, maybe played with a couple of her French friends here, and enjoyed this little moment of peace and quiet. And then up here there's just a lot of stuff for storage. So we have some books, we have a little case file thing, we have some old gym shoes, and we have Ivy's old toy trunk. So that is the main house, but there is actually a whole other addition back here. So this is a guest house and also a garage. So this is the main garage area, and then if you go up, we have a nice guest room. And oh my god, Ross is saying really cute things to Gator. I'm glad we'll be together forever, and they're gonna kiss each other. How cute is that? But this is the extent of the guest house. I love this photo right here, it's so cute. And yeah, that is pretty much our French home. It's very beautiful, very big. And then we also have this wonderful backyard. This backyard is probably one of the biggest things of this house that I really love. It's really beautiful. I don't know, it's like you can't get this sort of backyard. I feel like this backyard vibe in any other town but Champlain. This whole house, for some reason, is more comfy than any other house I have like ever seen before. And yes, I need to take some photos, although the roof is like messed up over here, so maybe not the best place to take photos. Okay, let's do a take two. Here we go. This should be a little bit better. There we go. How cute is that photo? All right, so now that I have showed off the house a little bit, did I read off Gator and Ross's traits? I don't think I did. Okay, they're just making out up here in the office. Nice, guys. Fantastic. Gator is an angler, excitable over emotional, slob, and a social butterfly. He also is very infatuated with his husband. He cannot stop making out with him, and he said, "My love." How sweet is that? So in his older age here, Gator has actually wanted to have a nectar cellar, which I feel like has a lot to do with the fact that he spends his summers in France, and naturally, obviously, both him and Ross spend a lot of time at the French nectary. So that is Mr. Gator. And then if we come over here to Ross, the focus of our last generation and probably one of my favorite Sims that I have ever played. He is charismatic, family oriented, friendly, green thumb, and a perfectionist. Back in the house in Riverview, he actually has a really beautiful garden in the backyard. They have a beautiful house in Riverview, a gigantic like 6-story mansion with a whole guest house. It is such a beautiful house, and obviously they are incredibly wealthy. They both hold very, very high-paying jobs, and yeah, that's basically these two. So that is the family, guys. We are going to be spending our summer here in France in this mini series, and in the next episode we will get into exploring Miss Ivy and all her romantic interest here, including Remy, Henry, Pascal, and Alan, who is her friend. So he might not be, unless he wants to potentially turn into a romantic interest if Ivy chooses him. That's going to be the biggest thing about this mini-series, is I am going to let Ivy choose who she wants. I'm not going to choose specifically who I want. It's going to be all up to Ivy and Ivy's preferences. So if you guys are interested, I post 4 videos a week. Might be a little bit slow to start with this series because I am currently in my finals week of college. I am sorry if I don't upload 4 videos a week. I also stream every single Saturday at 7 p.m. EST. But other than that, guys, I will catch you in the next episode of Ivy in France. Peace out, guys.